There comes a moment when you stare at your reflection and realize nobody is coming to save you. The world doesn't care about your pain, your past, or your excuses. You either rise or you rot. Every broken promise, every sleepless night, every time you felt invisible, it all becomes fuel the day you decide you're done being average. You see, wealth isn't just money. It's power, control, and freedom. The ability to move through life on your own terms. People will doubt you, laugh at you, call you obsessed, but when your bank account proves them wrong, they'll pretend they always believed in you. This game isn't for the weak. It's for those who refuse to bow to mediocrity. You start with nothing, no money, no status, no support. But you build your mind into a weapon so sharp the world has no choice but to take you seriously. That's the formula: discipline over comfort, action over excuses, and a heart that never stops fighting. You're not here to be liked. You're here to become undeniable. Discipline is stronger than motivation because motivation is temporary. It flickers like a match, bright for a moment and then gone. Motivation is that rush you feel when you watch a powerful video or hear someone speak with passion, but it fades the second life gets difficult. Discipline, however, is the structure you build when that fire dies. It's the part of you that keeps moving when every cell in your body screams to quit. Motivation asks, do I feel like it? Discipline says, I'll do it regardless. The people who win in life aren't the ones who always feel inspired. They're the ones who've learned how to act without needing to feel anything at all. They've killed the habit of waiting for the right moment and replaced it with the habit of execution. You see, the foundation of every empire is built on consistency. Discipline is that consistency in motion. It's doing the work on the days you're exhausted, when nobody is watching, when success feels a million miles away. It's waking up early when you want to sleep, training when your body aches, studying when your mind wants rest. That's the price of transformation, the invisible grind behind every public victory. Most people lose because they rely on emotion. They work hard when they're excited and stop when they're tired. That's why their results vanish. Emotion is fragile, it bends under pressure. Discipline is solid. It doesn't care about moods, weather, or circumstance. It's built on commitment, not comfort. When you decide that your goals matter more than how you feel, you separate yourself from the masses. You become dangerous, unstoppable, and free from the chains of inconsistency. The truth is, motivation will lie to you. It'll whisper, rest a little more, start tomorrow, you've done enough. Discipline doesn't negotiate. It doesn't wait for the perfect time. It acts now. It shows up when you're sick, when you're heartbroken, when life feels unfair. That's when character is built. Every rep, every late night, every small victory becomes part of your identity. You begin to see progress, not because you were motivated, but because you refuse to stop. That refusal becomes your advantage. People will look at you and think you're gifted, lucky, or built differently. They won't see the hours you worked in silence, the times you failed and tried again. They won't understand that while they were distracted, you were focused. Discipline made you that way. Discipline sharpens the mind. It teaches control, patience, and endurance. It turns chaos into clarity. The disciplined man knows that success isn't won in a day. It's earned through thousands of small decisions done right. Each disciplined act compounds, stacking on top of the last until your life changes completely. One day you'll wake up and realize the habits you built in pain gave you a life others only dream about. That's the beauty of discipline. It rewards you long after the effort is forgotten. You won't remember the exact days you pushed through exhaustion, but you'll live in the results those days created. People talk about balance, but discipline teaches sacrifice. You give up short-term comfort for long-term power. While others chase pleasure, you chase purpose. That's why few make it. They want the reward without the routine. They want success without structure. But greatness demands obedience to your mission. It demands you do what needs to be done, not what feels good. Every great man, every top performer, every millionaire who started from zero built their empire on discipline. It was their backbone when motivation disappeared. It was the voice that said, keep going, when the world turned against them. Discipline becomes a form of self-respect. You stop breaking promises to yourself. You stop saying someday because you've learned that someday is code for never. You realize that control over your mind equals control over your life. Discipline gives you that control. It builds trust within yourself, and that trust becomes unbreakable confidence. You start to move differently, think differently, and people notice. They feel your energy, your certainty. You're no longer waiting for permission or approval. You've become your own driving force. That's what discipline does. It turns you into the kind of person who doesn't need to talk about success because your results speak louder than words. Every time you act with discipline, you rewrite your destiny. You're teaching your brain that feelings don't dictate your future, actions do. That mindset is what separates leaders from followers, winners from dreamers, millionaires from the ordinary. If you want to change your life, don't chase motivation, chase discipline. Build a routine so strong that even your bad days are productive. Be the kind of person who does the work regardless of how you feel. Over time, you'll realize that the world bends to those who remain consistent. The gym, the business, the craft, it all rewards the disciplined. You might not see results today, but every ounce of effort compounds. One disciplined day turns into a week, a month, a year. And before you know it, you've built momentum so powerful that failure becomes impossible. Discipline isn't punishment, it's liberation. It's the key that unlocks the version of you buried under laziness and fear. When you master it, you don't just reach your goals, you redefine what's possible. So stop waiting for motivation. It's a spark. You are the fire. Light it every single day until your results burn bright enough to silence doubt forever. Your mind is your greatest asset. Train it like a soldier. Every battle you'll ever fight begins and ends inside your head. The difference between the man who wins and the man who breaks is not luck, talent, or opportunity. It's mental conditioning. Your thoughts are the generals commanding your life, and if they're weak, undisciplined, or scattered, everything else collapses. Most people let their mind control them. They react to every emotion, distraction, and failure as if they're powerless. But when you train your mind like a soldier, you become the commander. You decide how to think, how to act, how to respond. You no longer chase comfort, you chase control. A soldier doesn't flinch when faced with chaos because he's trained for war. Likewise, you must train your mind for pressure, for loss, for pain, for setbacks. Life will hit you harder than any opponent, and the untrained mind will surrender. The trained mind adapts, calculates, and strikes back twice as hard. The truth is, mental strength isn't built through success. It's forged in struggle. Every time life tests you, it's an opportunity to build resilience. The average person avoids discomfort. The disciplined mind leans into it. When you face rejection, when plans fail, when people doubt you, that's your training ground. Every failure teaches your mind to stay calm, focused, and strategic under fire. You stop taking pain personally and start using it as fuel. You realize that your emotions are tools, not masters. You can feel anger, sadness, fear, and still move forward. That's real strength. The mind is like a muscle. It grows through resistance. You must feed it the right information, challenge it with new goals, and push it beyond comfort. If you fill it with negativity, gossip, and fear, don't expect power or clarity. A soldier doesn't waste time on noise, he studies the battlefield. You must do the same. Study success, discipline, human psychology, strategy. Learn how winners think, how leaders move, how empires are built. Read, listen, reflect. But most importantly, apply. Knowledge without action is useless. Training the mind means execution under pressure. When your body screams, stop, your trained mind says, we're not done yet. Most people quit because they've never trained their minds to endure. They give up when they feel pain because they believe discomfort means defeat. But the trained mind knows discomfort is part of the process. Every time you overcome resistance, you rewire your brain for dominance. You're teaching yourself that you can handle more than you thought possible. You're breaking mental limits others never question. That's how you become unstoppable, not by avoiding pain, but by mastering it. Think of a soldier in battle. His environment is chaos, noise, danger, uncertainty. But his training allows him to act with precision while everyone else panics. You must build that same calm under fire in your own life. When business fails, when people betray you, when pressure suffocates you, you stay composed. You analyze, you act. That calmness is your edge. Weak minds react, trained minds respond. A trained mind doesn't waste time blaming others or drowning in excuses. It takes full ownership. It finds solutions where others see problems. It adapts when others freeze. That's mental warfare. And the only way to win is through constant training. To train your mind like a soldier, you must control your environment. Guard what enters your head. Every song, video, conversation, and thought shapes your mindset. Most people poison their minds daily with distractions and wonder why they feel lost. A soldier doesn't scroll endlessly through meaningless noise. He sharpens focus. You must be intentional with what you feed your brain. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, consume information that elevates you, and spend time alone to build mental clarity. Silence isn't emptiness, it's discipline. It's where you reset, strategize, and grow stronger. Mental training also means mastering your self-talk. The words you tell yourself daily become your reality. If your inner voice is weak, you will act weak. You must speak power, precision, and belief into your life, even when things fall apart. You must learn to silence doubt before it controls you. Every morning, remind yourself who you are and what you stand for. Every night, evaluate your actions with honesty. That constant mental auditing keeps you aligned with your mission. Soldiers review every battle, every mistake, every movement, and so should you. Reflection builds wisdom. Repetition builds instinct. Understand this. Your mind controls your energy, your habits, your future. The way you think determines what you attract. If you think small, you'll live small. If you think fear, you'll create obstacles. But if you think strategy, vision, and strength, your actions will align with power. That's why mental training is everything. You can't build a strong body with a weak mind. You can't build wealth with a fearful mindset. You can't lead others if you haven't conquered yourself. Every millionaire, every champion, every leader, before they won externally, they won internally. They reprogrammed their minds for success long before the results appeared. So train daily. Wake up early, not just to work, but to command your thoughts. Visualize your goals, discipline your focus, and refuse to let negativity enter your mental space. When the world tries to distract you with fear or pleasure, stay on mission. Be ruthless with your focus. A soldier doesn't hesitate, he executes. Train until your discipline becomes instinct. Train until failure feels like feedback. Train until self-doubt has no room to breathe. Eventually, you'll notice a shift. Problems that once overwhelmed you now seem small. Pressure that once broke you now fuels you. That's when you'll realize the power of a trained mind. It turns chaos into clarity, pain into strength, and dreams into reality. The world will test you, but a soldier's mind doesn't break, it bends and rebuilds stronger. You'll stop living reactively and start moving strategically. Every decision, every moment will be driven by purpose, not impulse. Your mind is the weapon that decides your future. Sharpen it daily, train it to endure, to focus, to believe when no one else does. Because when you command your mind, you command your destiny. A soldier never questions his mission. He completes it. That's how you must live. Unbreakable, unshaken, unstoppable. Your mind is your greatest asset. Train it like a soldier. Everything begins in the mind. The victories, the defeats, the dreams, and the fears. Your body follows your thoughts. Your actions follow your beliefs. And your future follows your mindset. If your mind is undisciplined, your life will be chaotic. But if your mind is trained, focused, and sharp, you become unstoppable. You see, a soldier doesn't rely on feelings, he relies on preparation. He doesn't wait for comfort, he moves under pressure. That's how your mind must operate. Calm, precise, relentless, and unbreakable. Life is war, and every day you wake up, you're entering a battlefield. You'll face doubt, distractions, and defeats. But the one who has trained their mind doesn't run, they adapt, strategize, and advance. The untrained mind panics in chaos. The trained mind finds opportunity in it. That's the difference between those who break and those who build empires. Your mind can be your greatest weapon or your worst enemy. It depends on how you train it. Most people let their minds control them. They allow fear, laziness, and emotion to dictate every move. But when you become the commander of your own mind, everything changes. You stop reacting. You start responding. You stop hesitating. You start executing. That's what separates a winner from a dreamer. The mind must be conditioned daily through discipline, not comfort. Just like a soldier sharpens his weapon, you must sharpen your thoughts. You have to challenge yourself, question your weaknesses, and destroy the excuses your mind tries to protect you with. Growth never comes from comfort. Every strong mind was forged in resistance. Pain and persistence. The more you face adversity, the tougher you become. The more you push through difficulty, the more unshakable your mindset grows. A soldier's mind is built through repetition. He drills the same moves every day until they become instinct. You must do the same with your habits. Discipline is not a one-time act, it's a lifestyle. Train your thoughts to obey your goals, not your moods. When your body says stop, your mind must say go. When your emotions scream give up, your mind must whisper, keep going. That's mental dominance. You can't control what happens around you, but you can control how you interpret and respond to it. The mind you build today determines the strength you'll have when everything goes wrong. Train it to stay calm under pressure, focused in chaos, and confident in the face of fear. Weak minds fold when things get hard. Strong minds grow stronger with every challenge. That's why pain is essential. It's mental weightlifting. Every obstacle you face builds your endurance. Every failure strengthens your understanding. Every loss teaches you how to fight smarter. But most people run from pain, not realizing they're running from power. When you avoid struggle, you avoid growth. When you train your mind to see pain as a teacher, nothing can stop you. You stop fearing hard times and start using them as fuel. That's how soldiers think. They don't pray for easy battles. They pray for strength to conquer hard ones. Your life demands that same mindset. Training your mind also means mastering focus. The modern world is built to destroy your attention. Distractions are everywhere. Social media, noise, opinions, drama. Every second you lose focus, you lose progress. A trained mind learns to shut out the noise. It learns to say no to what doesn't serve the mission. A soldier knows his objective. He doesn't waste energy on nonsense. You need that same clarity. Every day ask yourself, does this move me closer to my goal? If not, eliminate it. Protect your mental energy as if your life depends on it, because it does. A focused mind is a powerful mind. You must also control the conversations you have with yourself. The mind listens to every word you say. If you constantly tell yourself you're tired, weak, or unlucky, that's exactly what you'll become. But if you tell yourself you're capable, strong, and disciplined, your mind will believe it. That's how you reprogram your thinking. Speak victory even when you're in pain. Speak belief even when no one else does. The voice inside your head must become your strongest ally, not your biggest enemy. Train it to push you, not poison you. A soldier's internal dialogue isn't, I can't, it's, I will. You must adopt the same mindset. Mental training also demands solitude. Spend time alone with your thoughts. Learn to think deeply, reflect honestly, and plan strategically. A soldier studies the battlefield before he moves. You must study your own life with the same intensity. Where are you weak? What patterns keep holding you back? What habits are destroying your potential? Be brutally honest with yourself, because awareness is the first step to mastery. Once you see the flaws, you can fix them. Most people distract themselves to avoid facing truth. But when you embrace solitude, your mind becomes sharper, cleaner, and deadlier. Your mind shapes your destiny. Every millionaire, every leader, every legend started by mastering their thoughts. They learned that external success is just a reflection of internal strength. You can't build wealth, love, or power without first building a warrior mindset. That's why mental discipline must come before everything else. Train your mind to endure boredom, repetition, and sacrifice. Train it to stay committed long after the excitement fades. The world belongs to those who can stay focused when others quit. The goal isn't to be motivated, it's to be mentally bulletproof. Motivation fades. Mental strength lasts. When you train your mind like a soldier, failure becomes feedback, rejection becomes redirection, and fear becomes fuel. You stop seeing life as something that happens to you. You start seeing it as something you command. That's true power. Every success story begins with someone who refused to be broken mentally. And one day, people will look at you and say you're lucky, gifted, or different. They won't understand the battles you fought in silence, the wars you won inside your head. But you'll know. You'll know it was your mind, your greatest asset, that built everything you have. Train it daily. Strengthen it through challenge. Discipline it through consistency. Make your mind so powerful that doubt, fear, and weakness no longer have a voice. When you train your mind like a soldier, Nothing in this world can defeat you because the war within is already won. Comfort destroys potential. Pain builds power. Comfort is a silent killer. It feels warm, safe, and peaceful, but it slowly strips you of your hunger, your ambition, and your strength. It whispers, you've done enough, when you've barely begun. It tells you to take it easy, to rest, to avoid discomfort. And while you listen, your dreams die quietly inside you. Every person who once had fire in their eyes lost it the moment they chose comfort over challenge. Comfort gives temporary pleasure but permanent regret. The truth is nothing extraordinary grows in comfort. Growth is born in discomfort. Strength is forged in struggle. Power is built through pain. The men and women who dominate this world didn't get there because life was easy. They got there because they endured what others couldn't. They turned pain into progress and suffering into strength. Pain is the greatest teacher you will ever have. It exposes your weaknesses, tests your limits, and forces you to evolve. Without pain, there is no growth. Without discomfort, there is no change. Every time you choose the easy path, you trade potential for pleasure. You stay the same because you refuse to struggle. You can't expect greatness while living softly. The gym hurts, but it builds muscle. The grind is exhausting, but it builds resilience. The discipline feels heavy, but it builds power. Pain is the signal that transformation is happening. It's your mind, body, and soul breaking through the walls of mediocrity. Those who run from pain are running from their destiny. Those who embrace it find out who they truly are. Comfort seduces you with promises of peace, but it delivers emptiness. It makes you weaker day by day without you realizing it. You stop pushing limits, stop seeking growth, stop chasing the version of yourself that could have changed everything. Comfort kills dreams long before failure ever does. It's not the obstacles that destroy people, it's their addiction to ease. They want results without resistance, success without struggle, victory without war. But life doesn't reward the comfortable, it rewards the committed. Those who step into pain with purpose gain something the comfortable will never know. Power. Real, undeniable power. The kind that can't be bought, faked, or inherited. The kind that's earned through grit, sacrifice, and relentless pursuit. Pain builds power because it forces you to adapt. When you go through hard times, you evolve mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Pain sharpens focus. It kills entitlement. It reminds you that everything has a price. It humbles you and strengthens you at the same time. You stop expecting things to be easy and you start preparing yourself to be tougher. Every setback you survive adds armor to your soul. Every challenge you conquer builds confidence that no one can take away. That's how warriors are made. That's how leaders are built. They don't avoid pain, they hunt it. They understand that pressure creates diamonds and struggle creates success. The truth is, comfort is everywhere. It's in the soft bed that keeps you from getting up early. It's in the excuses that tell you to skip the gym. It's in the fear that stops you from taking a risk. And the more you choose it, the more you weaken your will. The comfortable man may have temporary peace, but he'll never feel alive. He'll live a quiet life of regret, wondering what could have been if he had just pushed a little harder, sacrificed a little longer, and endured a little more. Pain, on the other hand, may hurt now, but it builds a version of you that cannot be broken. It awakens something primal inside you. It teaches you self-respect because you know you earned every bit of strength you carry. Every time you push through pain, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. That belief compounds into unshakable confidence. You begin to see yourself differently. You stop fearing challenges and start craving them. You realize that pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. Every failure, heartbreak, and loss you endure is refining you for something greater. Life isn't trying to break you, it's trying to build you. The problem is, most people quit in the middle of the process. They escape to comfort just before the breakthrough happens. They start over again and again, never building the power that comes from persistence. The ones who stay, who take the hits and keep going. Those are the ones who rise. The greatest mistake you can make is believing comfort equals happiness. Comfort is a trap. It gives pleasure now, but pain later. Pain is an investment. It hurts now, but rewards forever. You can't grow while protecting your comfort zone. You can't unlock potential while avoiding pain. Every time you choose struggle over ease, you're building a foundation that can't be shaken. The pain you feel today is shaping the strength you'll rely on tomorrow. The discomfort you face now will become the confidence you carry forever. That's how life works. It gives you two choices: suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One hurts for a while, the other haunts you for life. So embrace the grind. Wake up when you don't want to. Train when you're tired. Work when it's hard. Because every time you do, you're telling the universe you're ready for more. You're proving you can handle greatness. Comfort will always call your name. It will tempt you with ease, rest, and safety. But every time you say no, you get stronger. Every time you walk through pain, you get closer to your potential. That's how warriors are built, not in luxury, but in struggle. Pain builds power because it reveals your true limits and then forces you to shatter them. It teaches you that you're capable of surviving anything. It transforms fear into focus and weakness into willpower. Pain is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally. It's the proof that you're growing, changing, evolving. So don't run from it. Don't numb it. Don't avoid it. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it shape you into the version of yourself that you were meant to become. Because when you stop fearing pain and start using it, you become untouchable. Comfort destroys potential, but pain creates greatness. Wealth starts internally before it manifests externally. You can't attract abundance with a poor mindset. You can't hold success if you think like someone who expects to lose. The foundation of wealth isn't money, it's mentality. True wealth begins in your thoughts, in the standards you set for yourself, and in the discipline you practice daily. Before any bank account grows, the mind must expand. Before the world sees your results, you must build the identity of a winner inside yourself. The problem is, most people chase wealth on the outside while staying broke on the inside. They crave luxury, but think in limitation. They want freedom, but live in fear. They look at successful people and see luck instead of strategy, mindset, and consistency. But every person who built real wealth started by changing how they saw themselves. They didn't wait for the world to validate them. They validated themselves through action, belief, and vision. Wealth is a vibration. It's an energy you align with before it ever shows up in your reality. When your thoughts are small, opportunities look like risks. But when your mind is rich, you see potential where others see problems. The world gives to those who think abundantly and punishes those who think in scarcity. The broke mindset says, I can't afford it. The wealthy mindset says, how can I afford it? The broke mindset complains about the economy. The wealthy mindset creates in it. The broke mind fears risk. The wealthy mind manages it. That's the difference. Perspective. If you keep thinking like everyone else, you'll keep living like everyone else. To change your reality, you must first rewire your beliefs. Every result in your life is a reflection of your inner world. Your habits, relationships, and bank balance are all mirrors of your mindset. If you think small, you'll live small. If you think fear, you'll attract loss. If you think strength, confidence, and purpose, you'll begin to move like someone who deserves success. That movement shifts everything: your actions, your opportunities, your energy. You start to attract what you're prepared for. But you can't fake it, you have to live it. Wealth is not about chasing money, it's about becoming the kind of person money chases. The kind of person who is focused, disciplined, and certain. When you build yourself internally, the external rewards follow naturally. Most people want shortcuts. They want success without identity. They want to earn more without learning more. But you can't rise higher than your self-image. If you see yourself as average, no amount of money can change that. You'll sabotage success because it doesn't fit the picture you hold of yourself. That's why personal development isn't optional. It's essential. Wealthy people don't just work harder, they think differently. They manage their emotions, stay calm in chaos, and make decisions from logic, not desperation. They invest in their knowledge before they invest in anything else. That's how they stay ahead, because their inner world is already rich. Building inner wealth means mastering your emotions, your focus, and your vision. You can't make smart decisions if you're ruled by fear. You can't build an empire if your mind collapses under pressure. The reason most people stay broke isn't lack of opportunity, it's lack of inner control. They spend impulsively, chase instant pleasure, and live in reaction. The wealthy build systems, delay gratification, and live with purpose. That discipline comes from within. They know that before money can multiply, the mind must mature. Money doesn't change who you are, it amplifies it. If you're careless, it exposes that carelessness. If you're strategic, it amplifies your intelligence. That's why inner wealth must come first. You have to become the kind of person who can manage power before you can have it. Wealth begins with self-belief. You must believe you're capable of more, even when you have nothing. Every millionaire once started with doubt, but they decided not to stay there. They visualized the life they wanted, not as a fantasy, but as a plan. They acted like the person they wanted to become long before the world saw it. That's how wealth grows. It starts as a mindset, becomes a habit, and then turns into a lifestyle. Your external world is just the echo of your internal state. The man who feels poor inside will lose everything he gains. The man who feels rich inside will rebuild even if he loses it all. To build internal wealth, you must feed your mind the right input. Read, learn, and surround yourself with thinkers who stretch your limits. Protect your thoughts like treasures because they shape your destiny. Stop speaking scarcity. Stop saying, I can't. Start saying, I will. Every word you speak programs your subconscious. Speak success until it feels normal. Speak abundance until it becomes your reality. The more you repeat it, the more your mind aligns with it. That's how your inner world transforms, and soon, your outer world follows. You also need gratitude. Gratitude is wealth's magnet. The more you appreciate what you have, the more room you create for more. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from what's missing to what's possible. It strengthens your mental state and keeps you calm under stress. Wealthy minds aren't just driven, they're grateful. They understand that energy multiplies whatever you focus on. Focus on lack and you'll get more of it. Focus on growth and you'll attract more opportunities to grow. Remember, wealth is not about numbers, it's about freedom. Freedom to live, to choose, to create. That freedom begins in your thoughts. If your mind is full of fear and limitation, you can never truly be free, even with millions. But if your mind is strong, peaceful, and focused, you are already wealthy, even before the money arrives. That's the secret the world hides. Money doesn't create wealth, mindset does. So build yourself from the inside out. Strengthen your focus, discipline your habits, upgrade your circle, and refine your thoughts. Learn to think long-term. Learn to invest in yourself more than anything else. Learn to stay calm when others panic. Wealth doesn't rush, it compounds. But it only compounds for those who've prepared themselves internally. Every dollar, every opportunity, every connection gravitates toward a mind that knows its value. When you master your mind, you master your world. That's when wealth stops being a dream and starts becoming your reality. Because the truth is simple, money follows mindset. And when your mind becomes rich, the world has no choice but to make you rich too. Success isn't luck. It's relentless self-belief backed by action. People love to call winners lucky because it comforts their own lack of effort. They look at the successful and say, he got lucky, she was in the right place, he had help, but deep down they know the truth. Those people simply refuse to quit. Success doesn't fall from the sky. It's earned through obsession, persistence, and an unshakable belief that you are destined for more. The man who wins isn't the most talented. He's the one who stays in the game when everyone else walks away. He trusts himself when no one else does. He shows up when he's tired, works when he's uninspired, and fights when he's bleeding. That's not luck. That's conviction forged through discipline and action. The world rewards belief backed by execution. Anyone can dream, anyone can talk, but few are willing to grind in silence, build from nothing, and endure endless rejection. Self-belief is not arrogance. It's awareness of your potential. It's looking at the odds stacked against you and saying, I'll still win. That's what separates achievers from wishful thinkers. Those who make it to the top don't rely on motivation or chance. They build systems, habits, and unbreakable mentality. They understand that confidence isn't given, it's built through consistent effort. Every time you act despite fear, every time you commit despite doubt, your belief grows stronger. Eventually, it becomes bulletproof. Luck might open one door, but it's self-belief and relentless action that keep you walking through hundreds more. You can't control luck, but you can control your grind. You can control how hard you work, how you react to failure, and how long you stay in the fight. Most people quit right before things start to change. They get discouraged, lose faith, and tell themselves maybe it wasn't meant to be. But the ones who win understand that success takes longer than expected. It demands patience, persistence, and pain. They fail, learn, and try again. They adapt instead of complain. That's not luck. That's leadership over yourself. Success demands that you bet on yourself when the world doesn't. There will be days when everything goes wrong, when no one supports you, when you question if it's even worth it. That's where self-belief separates the strong from the weak. The weak look for validation, the strong create proof. They don't need applause to keep going. They trust that their effort will eventually speak louder than words. Self-belief is a muscle. It grows when tested. The more you push through adversity, the stronger it becomes. When you develop that inner certainty, failure stops being the end, it becomes fuel. You start to see every setback as training for the next victory. Action is what transforms belief into reality. Believing without execution is fantasy. You can visualize, manifest, and talk all you want, but without consistent, focused action, it means nothing. Success comes to those who move, who act even when they're uncertain. You don't need all the answers to begin, you just need courage to start. Every step forward builds momentum, and momentum turns into mastery. The successful aren't fearless, they simply move despite fear. They've trained their minds to act faster than their doubts. That's how progress happens, not in giant leaps, but in relentless steps. The combination of belief and action is what builds unstoppable energy. When you trust yourself fully and work relentlessly, the universe aligns with your intention. Opportunities appear because your energy attracts them. People notice your consistency, your focus, your results. But it all begins internally. If you don't believe you can win, you won't even try. If you don't act, your belief means nothing. It's the marriage of the two, mindset and movement, that creates miracles. There's no shortcut. Every successful person has faced doubt, pain, and fear. The only difference is that they didn't let those emotions stop them. They kept taking action until they broke through resistance. They learned from every loss instead of being destroyed by it. That's the mindset you need. Resilience over excuses, execution over emotion. You must be willing to work when no one notices, to sacrifice when no one understands, and to persist when no one believes. That's how you build an empire. People will call you crazy. They'll doubt you, laugh at you, and question your choices. But remember, they're only projecting their own limitations onto you. Their disbelief means nothing if your self-belief is strong. You don't need their approval. You need your discipline. When your actions align with your vision, you become unstoppable. It's not about proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Every great achievement begins with someone who refused to be average. Success is not random. It's the compound effect of daily effort, faith, and persistence. You may not see results for months, even years, but if you stay consistent, everything compounds. The small wins build into massive victories. Each hour of work, each sacrifice, each rejection, they all add up. That's how success is built, brick by brick, day by day, with self-belief as the foundation and action as the tool. The people you admire didn't just get lucky, they earned every inch of progress through struggle. They faced doubt, failure, and fear, and they acted anyway. So stop waiting for luck. Stop waiting for signs. Start betting on yourself every single day. Believe so deeply that failure becomes irrelevant. When your belief is unshakable and your action is relentless, success becomes inevitable. The world bends for those who refuse to give up. That's the truth no one wants to hear. The grind never lies. Luck fades, but consistency compounds. Effort never goes unnoticed. You don't need to be chosen. You need to choose yourself and move like you already belong at the top. In the end, success is simple: believe, act, repeat. Believe in your vision when others doubt it. Act on your goals when no one is watching. Repeat that process until your reality matches your ambition. That's how every dream turns real. Not by chance, but by relentless self-belief backed by relentless action. Because success isn't luck. It's earned through will, built through work, and owned by those who never stop moving forward.